Miran. It's been a little while since I have done a live, but today I thought the topic came up regarding, what is mental health? What is a mental health crisis, and when is it a spiritual awakening? There is some questions that have been arising for people and for myself too, right, on the journey. So I thought, let's discuss this, right? Let's have an open conversation around this, because if you're here on my channel, most likely you had some mental health crisis at some point in your life too. And they are extremely scary. And perhaps you also thought that you had that fear that you're going to be locked up in a psych ward, right? And that was a huge one for me. But to also realize that I'm not even sure how to articulate that. I was actually feeling really uncomfortable doing a video about this, but there was a strong pull to talk about this. So I'm guessing someone out there needs to hear it, maybe myself as well, to get really clear on how do I know for myself when this is really inner wisdom guiding me, when this is something more spiritual, and when is it more a sign that, hey, I need to actually go and seek some help, right? From a professional. That's totally okay too. I have had hallucinations in the past, and that can be very destabilizing, very, very scary, right? And there's different type of hallucinations and things like that we can have. I had like seeing things crawling on the wall, or that fear that someone's behind you, auditory hallucinations and things like that, right? Perhaps this is you too. But then when you're listening to other people, when they're talking about their spiritual awakening, they're also hearing voices, right? They are telling you that perhaps Mark, Angel, Michael, or whoever it is, that they're hearing that voice and they're guided by that voice, that inner voice, that higher self. And things like that. So how do I know whether this is something like this versus this is a mental health crisis, right? And I'm just speaking from my own experience here, right? What this was like for me, and how I know when there's a difference there, right? So when there is voices or auditory hallucinations and things like that, there's usually some fear. There's usually doubt there as well. There's a franticness. There is a tension. There is that need that I need to prove people and that this is real, and that fear that the mental health, no one in the mental health system is understanding when my psychiatrist doesn't get me, my psychologist and all my support workers and things like that, right? When there is this energy of people don't get me, right? They don't understand. This is real. This is that kind of thing. That is, in my case, that is when I actually needed help, because that was. Yeah, it was my mental health crisis, right? And there is, well, at the time I felt deeply ashamed and embarrassed and around this, right? And I spoke to a lot of people, especially people who have bipolar diagnosis, who have psychotic episodes and things like that, right? When you're acting out on those kind of things, there is, there is some, it's deeply vulnerable, right? When you're getting out of it and you're looking back and you can see, oh, wow, yeah, I really did that. I was really believing that voice, and that's it's very unsettling. It's really difficult to input words to this, right? But compared to this now, when there is some inner guidance, there is so much peace with this. There is just this deep inner knowing that there's no doubt. There's zero doubt. And there's this calmness about it. And there is an ease. And I usually even a smile. And it doesn't, there's no need for me to tell anyone or get anyone's approval on this, or validation that this is a real experience, that this is real, or this is not there. has a whole different quality within you. You just know. So this is how I used to guide that, back when I was still kind of off and on into crisis and things like that. That's how I used to gauge for myself. And when there's this doubt and this fear energy around those kind of situations, that then I actually do need to reach out to someone, right? But sometimes the mental health care system is not the best place. Emergency wards are often, depending on which country you're in, which area, you get mixed responses. Some are more helpful than others, but it's usually best that when you're healthy, when you're well enough to actually organize a support care team for yourself, to have a safe person that you can call upon, that you can message, that has a communication that can help you through that. That's what I've had a lot more helpful, right? To have these people in your life that you organize for yourself, rather than when we're going to the emergency ward, then it's a very mixed experience, right? Sometimes it's a good experience, sometimes not. You don't know who is on, who is not on, right? And you may have experienced that. I have never gone to an emergency department for those reasons of my huge fear of being hospitalized, right? So perhaps this is for you too. But I also know many people who have been saved going there, right? So this is about creating a network for yourself when you're feeling reasonably safe, when you're feeling well enough to organize that with a psychologist or psychiatrist, that you have these safe people in your world. I think this is really important for mental health crisis. When you're going through, and I sometimes think, especially when you had a lot of trauma and abuse in your childhood and stuff, when there's a lot of mental health crisis, it kind of naturally nudges you onto a spiritual path. For me, this happened without actually knowing this happened. Right? People often think I shaved my hair because I'm spiritual, which is not true. I actually shaved my hair, and that was more of a crisis situation when I did that, right? And there was a lot of reasons why I did that, but it was not for spiritual reasons. Now it is just because I'm lazy, and actually it's very convenient having short hair like this. But for me, that this happened more accidentally, that waking up to the truth. And as I said, now that when there is things, when there is inner knowing, when there is different experiences of the reality, I don't even really know how to put that into words, but when you're realizing who you truly are on a deeper level, like not the constructs that you create in your mind, the thoughts that you have about who you are, that identity that you created, like I am a survivor, or I am not worthy, or I'm a person who, whatever it is, right? That inner dialogue, that is who I thought I was, right? And I did a lot of inner work. I did a lot of self-development stuff, high performance things to really, I thought I created a future identity of myself that I want to grow into, right? Perhaps you're doing that too, right? It's taught in the psychology world, in the self-development world. But this, I'm just putting it out there, this is not who you truly are, right? It might feel like this is a better version of you than you are in that moment. But it's not even that, right? Because there's actually nothing wrong with you in this moment. That's a whole different kind of topic on itself there. But to really, the key that I wanted to share, because this does come up for people, right, is that when we're more in a mental health crisis, when things come, when there's a lot of doubt, when there's a lot of fear and tension in your body, and you have that sense that you need to prove to people that this was a real experience, then it's more in a mental health crisis rather than when it's more of a spiritual awakening kind of experience. There's a lot more just knowing. There's no words, you just know this is real. Right. So I hope that clarified that a little bit for you guys, because I know this can be a confusing thing at times. But yeah, but if you have any questions, I'm always open to hear from you. And if you have some experience, if you have some tips for people, then please share them here too, right? Because the more we're talking about this openly, the more people realize, oh, I'm not the only one, right? I'm not the only one who is scared of being locked up in a psych ward, right? So those kind of things to realize, oh, I'm not alone with that, can sometimes help to help as well, right? So wishing you all a wonderful day and a peaceful Sunday and lots of love and rainbows to brighten up the tough times just a little. See you guys. Bye.